Sitharaman.
My colleague, Pankaj Chaudhary, Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Nagaraju, Abhijit Phukan, Economic Advisor to the department, chiefs of several public sector banks, some private sector banks also, I would think, recipients of the awards, several fintech participants. First, let me congratulate those winners, banks and fintechs, who've done extraordinarily well. The drive with which you have taken your business forward and as a result benefited the country is absolutely praiseworthy, and the department has done itself some good by recognizing the talents which exist outside. I absolutely appreciate each one of you, and I'm sure the days are brighter for those who would aim to reach there the next year, I would think. So once again, appreciations, congratulations, and today is a bright day for each one of us because the speed with which innovation is happening in this country is just the dream of several other countries who have not even pegged them anywhere in the race. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Several advanced countries are nowhere in this kind of a speed in terms of not just the traction that you have attained in progressing with the area in which you're working, but also creating newer paradigms is something so unique to the Indian fintech. And as a result, there are several countries which appreciate and equally ask us if there can be an interaction which can be enabled. So what started as a very enthusiastic and dedicated effort of Honorable Prime Minister in starting up the startup revolution in India, it has now spawned to become so many more, and it hasn't stopped with one sector, and we are already reaping the benefit of so many innovations ranging from agriculture to space. So this is something which has made India's profile absolutely versatile and admirable. So all appreciations to every one of you in this hall today and for those who are similarly placed outside. So excellence in digital payment is one thing for which the banks have benefited, the innovators have benefited, and citizens at large are benefiting as well. It has profiled our financial inclusion, which is so important for a country which still needs a bulk of its population to benefit from financial inclusion. Pankaj Chaudhary ji actually read out the numbers of how many people have come into this Jan Dhan Yojana. As a result, how much of DBT payments are made possible today. And as a result, zero balance accounts today have more than 2 lakh crores as balance in their accounts. Similarly, Government of India, through the various DBT schemes, and I've given this figure earlier, has saved money because when you do a direct benefit transfer from the government, it goes only to those accounts for who the KYC is done, and spurious accounts are all removed. So instead of me going into the details of what actual benefits ABC we have gained or achieved by your innovations, I would just focus on what for Vikasit Bharat which is the Prime Minister's dream for this country by 2047, we can do is to make sure that we push the boundaries. You have set pioneering targets, achieved them, but now we need to take it further and set standards. So the success itself of India's fintech ecosystem and the UPI would not have been possible without the collective effort of all the stakeholders, our citizens. If they did not adopt to the technologies that you were bringing, our systems, our innovations would not have been so attractive. Fintech companies who are constantly innovating, banks who are readily adopting this to take it to every household. The government and the regulator, unless the regulator were soft touch, it wouldn't have been possible for you all to move forward. Old-fashioned views and old-fangled views would have only constricted your movements. And the citizens of India who adopted the technology, as I said earlier. 87% is the fintech adoption in India, whereas globally it is only 67%. So amazing that our citizens have felt that this is so easy, so accessible, and it's available in my mother tongue, and it doesn't matter which phone I have, so happily got into the system that today even account aggregators are reaching them. So it is not just receiving one small step, but adopting the entire spectrum. So when I say fintech adoption, what does it actually mean on the ground? That is why when ministers from abroad come, they want to have that experience in the ground. They go to fetch a nariyal pani from a merchant who's on a push cart, and they pay for the nariyal pani through the QR, and want to understand that this actually works. So families are paying utility bills. You can buy a meal wherever you are, whichever part of the country you are. Let me take you to the recent experience of yesterday. I was in Ladakh, in some of the remotest part. I had gone there to see how the government schemes are getting saturated in those far-flung areas. Very close to Pangong Lake, about which we would have seen wonderful photographs. Some of you all would have gone there. Many homestays have sprung up in that area, but of course with some aesthetics. It's not as if they're built over everywhere. You could see people paying through payment systems, although the internet connectivity is a bit dicey. Wi-Fi systems have been brought in by those homestays. With all that done, I reached back, and this morning, seeing me off at the airport, the chief secretary tells me, if only our connections at the far-flung areas, internet connections are ramped up in capacity. My bikers who come as visitors, there is a bike tourism going on in Ladakh, which all of you all probably are familiar with. They are not big spenders, but they are very many. In one day, in one road stretch, we would have seen anywhere between 500 bikers. So the chief secretary was telling me, if only the connectivity was better, even these small spending bikers, at wherever they would stop, would be able to do it. If that particular place didn't have the Wi-Fi, they would be slightly disadvantaged. So it is not a question of the payment system, it's more the question of USOF doing it faster to reach even these areas. So the success of payment for a Boti-speaking Ladakhi has already reached them. They are not familiar with many other languages. They are actually nomadic people who are there during summer receiving the guests. So that's the success of fintech, and I would really appreciate you for the extent to which your innovation are people-friendly. The World Bank study noted that through digital public infrastructure, India achieved 80% financial inclusion rate in just 6 years, a feat that no other country can achieve. Thank you. Some observers going through this World Bank report have even said, this is a level which would have taken, by normal course, 50 years to achieve, whereas fintech revolution has achieved it in 6 years only. India now actually accounts for almost half of all real-time digital transactions in the world. 48.5% is done in India. Shows both sides of the story. People are throbbing to use it every minute. 35 crore users are part of the UPI system. This is a direct outcome of citizen enthusiasm, and for urban and rural youth and even rural elders, people deserve credit for this open to change and for making the effort to learn and adopt new technology. Actually, during the pandemic, payment apps became the lifeline, enabling contactless payments and doorstep banking when mobility was restricted. As per RBI's Digital Payments Index, which measures the overall usage of digital payments, it has quadrupled in the last 5 years from 100 in 2018, 100 in 2018, to 465 in 2024. And at this pace, as this pace is gaining momentum, for example, just last month in May, UPI transactions in May 2025, it stood at 1,867.7 crore transactions by volume and 25.14 lakh crores in terms of value, which is 33.1% in transaction volume, year-on-year growth, and 23% in transaction value, year-on-year growth. So our citizens are really lapping and absorbing more and more of innovation as you provide them. The more you give them attractive options, the speed with which the adoption also catches up. The third pillar, first pillar was the citizen and the adoption. The second is the Indian fintech startups themselves. I'm not going into the detail of 10,000 fintech startups, third ecosystem, third globally recognized ecosystem. But one point in that is the remarkable innovation is the sandbox which the RBI provides you. So it is so commonly seen that you can adopt and try even as you're trying and make sure that your compliances are going to be in place. Conversational payments with AI and offline functionality is being developed for UPI payments as well. The third pillar is, of course, the banks. They are the backbone to this whole payment ecosystem. The extensive branch network and widespread customer base also helps us. As Secretary mentioned, today the cooperative banks and RRBs are also coming in this game. It helps a lot when more players come in. Governments and RBI's initiatives are well known. I'm not getting into the details. Just the amount which has been transferred through DBT is something worth repeating. 44 lakh crores have been transferred since 2014 with full transparency, and in doing so, 3.48 lakh crores have been removed from leakages, which means you've saved that much. And therefore, it is a complete credit to the technology which drives government policy and also bank functions. RBI has taken a lot of schemes. I'm not listing them out, but that has helped for us to realize what light touch regulation and heavy encouragement can do. It is that approach which has helped today digital lending also coming to be a part, just as the UPI, Unified Payment Interface, you shall have a unified lending interface. So we are moving very much ahead. So looking ahead, I would look at advancing financial inclusion even further, regional languages to be brought in even further, and voice-based services are going to strengthen them, unlocking new possibilities with account aggregator. I'm not going to describe them, but just in 3 years, nearly 700 entities as of end March 2025. Across banking and insurance securities, pensions have joined the account aggregator platform. It was only 24 in 2022. So 24 in 2022 is now 700 entities. Number of accounts linked through account aggregator is also an important data. It has soared to 15 crores now compared to 1.5 lakh in 22. 1.5 lakh in 22 has become 15 crores now. Loans worth 88,700 crores are being passed through the account aggregator. 1 crore personal finance management users have gone through this account aggregators. So MSME credit is some area which I would like more fintech participation. You need to expand the scope of and also the scale of digital lending for them. Fintech companies can also expand this credit availability for the MSMEs. Account aggregator interface with MSME is also something on which more innovations and products are required. Agriculture and rural areas need more innovations so that farmers will have to be connected to the markets better. Every fintech firm should view rural India as a fertile ground, not just as a social responsibility, but as an opportunity to create new markets. And you will know from the fast-moving consumer goods companies that it is in the rural area today, demand is reviving and sustaining itself. And it is there that we need to have greater participation from our side. Literacy has to be improved upon. Cybersecurity is a case which I was having an interaction with a few startups, fintech companies. How important is to ensure that we come up with solutions so that people are not arrested at home digitally, or fly-by-night operators don't take away their money. Deepfake is doing a lot of damage today. We should take care of addressing them. So we need a set of fintech companies which are constantly working in giving solutions for the newer challenges which are arising. Finally, customer service is an important item here. Future of finance will be phygital, physical and digital. So it is important to leverage the reach of technology as well as physical presence to serve customers better. Regular feedback loops should become the standard, and we need to attend to each one of these aspects with the same enthusiasm as we are doing for other core business requirements. Prime Minister often says we aspire not only to make in India, but also make for the world. In this context, Indian fintech companies and their innovations have the potential to become global public goods that can benefit other emerging and developing countries. This will open up new markets for our firms. International merchant payments through UPI are now accepted at select merchant outlets in 7 countries, including Bhutan, France, Mauritius, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and the UAE. Our players must aim To export our successful models abroad, we have the talent, we have the market scale, and we have also proven solutions. So fintech revolution in India will further flourish. Our fintech market is projected to grow to over $400 billion by 28-29. That's not too far away, just 3 years. Reflecting on an anticipated annual growth of 30%. The scale of opportunity is immense. I firmly believe its best chapters are yet to be written. Together, let us innovate, include, and inspire. Innovation and innovate new solutions fearlessly. I'll repeat that. Innovate new solutions fearlessly. Include every citizen in your vision and inspire the world with what